All right. Hey, what's happening, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me today on Unpack This. We have another powerful episode on Unpack This today. And here at Unpack This, this is literally where we unpack, we confront the uncomfortable, and we step into our true, authentic self. So I hope that you guys, you have comments, feel free to place them in the comment section. I will do my very best to get to it, but we're we're going to do this thing today, and our topic today is why people try to sabotage you or sabotage your name. Let me tell you right now, sabotage, it doesn't start with your success. It doesn't even start with your accomplishments. It actually starts the moment your name carries weight, presence, or potential. And some of you, if you're like me, you probably ask, why is this person doing this? Why would this person do this? Why would this person say this? We're going to unpack all of that. But just remember, your name, it carries weight. It carries presence. It carries potential. That's important to understand. So today, we're going to unpack why your name, your identity, your gifts, and your calling, why it triggers some people, and what to do when sabotage comes knocking. All right. So you guys with me? All right. Now, by the way, you can also go back and listen to the entire replay on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Definitely. And I see that my Instagram stream ended for whatever reason, but still streaming live on YouTube as well as Facebook. So, let's begin with clarity. What is sabotage? Sabotage is deliberate. It's this deliberate attempt to interfere, to block, diminish, or to derail your progress, your confidence, and even your reputation. But here's the deeper layer, right? That most people miss. Sabotage rarely has anything to do with you. It's a reflection of them. People sabotage, one, because they fear your growth. They resent your strength. And I know you're scratching your head and saying, huh? They're threatened by your confidence. See, your presence exposes their insecurity. Your name is mentioned in rooms they want to control. Essentially, you represent something they're not ready to become. Sabotage is the behavior of someone who believes your shine dims their light. Y'all get that? I it left me scratching my head, but when I think about it, what would be the reason behind wanting to sabotage someone or sabotage their name? It's because that person or those persons they really believe that your shine dims their light. But your light, your light is not negotiable. You'll hear me talk about that all the time. If you've ever wondered why people act strange when you walk in a room, why your name stirs conversations, or why someone suddenly becomes competitive with you. Hmm. So let's unpack that. First of all, your name, it represents your identity. People aren't reacting to just a name, they're literally reacting to the energy behind it. And that energy behind it is your resilience, your wisdom, and your authenticity. It comes with you wherever you go. The second reason people might want to sabotage you or your name is, see, your name reminds them of their own stagnation. Your progress highlights where they've settled. Your evolution highlights where they've resisted growth. I hope some of this is making sense, right? And, when you think about this, the third reason why people try to sabotage you, your name, because your name holds power. And you're thinking, power? Yeah. It's power that you don't even realize yet. And power, whether quiet, unintentional power, it intimidates those who want to control. Honestly, here's the truth, authentic family. Some people don't just want to destroy you, or I should say, they don't want to destroy you. They just want to stop you from being more than them. Now, is that starting to make sense? And they want to do that not because they hate you, but because your existence challenges their comfort zone. So, we're those of you who are just joining, we're talking about, why do people want to sabotage you or your name, right? And if you missed the first few minutes, I encourage you to go back and just listen to this entire episode. It's only 30 minutes, but I'm just dropping some nuggets on you as the authentic coach. So let's talk about, uh, excuse me, types of saboteurs. What kind of people are they? First of all, there's the friendly saboteur. They smile, they congratulate you, but whisper behind the scenes. They secretly compete with you while pretending to support you. You guys know anyone like that? Then there is the gatekeeper. This is the person who they want to control, who gets access, visibility, or opportunity. So when your name enters the room, check this, they feel their power slipping. I know it sounds crazy, but it's real. Then another saboteur is the underminer. Now, I don't know about you, but if you've lived as long as I have, you're going to run into some of those. And the underminer, what they do is they attack your credibility. They sow doubt. Yeah. They make these subtle comments that's designed to shrink your confidence. And people, for whatever reason, this is just us unpacking this to help you be your true authentic self and not get caught up in questioning this. Now, here's another type of saboteur. That's the person, the covert insecure, I'm gonna call them. The covert insecure person, they're not malicious, they're scared. See, your growth triggers their internal fears, causing them to react defensively. Um, and you just got to be aware. And then there's the projectionist. This is the person, they project their insecurities on you because it's easier than healing themselves. All of these behaviors, you guys have one thing in common. They are intimidated by the potential, and that's the operative word here, potential you carry. So, why they target you? Now, here's the part where people say, but authentic coach, why me? Well, I guess I could come back and say, well, why not you? But here's what I'm going to say. Let's unpack it. Why you? There are a number of reasons. Number one, you're consistent. People sabotage what they can't predict or control. Feel me on that, all right? The other thing is when you say, why me? Well, your resilience, your ability to bounce back, it annoys those people who really want to see you fail. That's real. And that's why I want to say to some of you out there that feels like I got all these friends, I've got to look, you have to be wide awake and you have to pay attention, right? Uh, when we talk about why me, well, it's because you expose their insecurity without even trying. You're not even aware. Your growth shines a mirror on what they refuse to address. So, guess what? Hey, I'm not going to address it. I'm going to break you down so you can't address it, right? Your calling, that's another reason why people also attack you, because your calling, it actually speaks before you do. I know you say, well, listen, some people can feel your purpose and it scares them. Haven't you heard, or I've often had people say, when you walk into a room, it's like you own the room, even if I don't know anyone. I'm just being my authentic, bubbly, happy self. But you have to be aware of why people do what they do. But here's what I want to tell you. You don't need their validation. See, that's the ultimate threat for them. You're not seeking validation. So that to me says volumes. But remember, you don't need their validation. So when your name pops up, people feel inspired or they feel insecure. They're going to feel either awakened or they're going to feel threatened. But I want to tell you, unpack this right here, right now. It is not your job to carry their emotional load. So I'm going to Stick a pin in that right there. It's not your job. You don't have to carry their emotional load. And that's really important for you to remain true to who you are and be your true, authentic self. Okay? So, how do I protect my confidence? How do I protect my calling? Um, you know, so guess what? Let's talk strategy. You know, let's talk about how do you do that. Well, first of all, it's not to fight people because sabotage is nothing but a distraction, you guys. That's all. Strictly a distraction, right? So I'm just wanting to talk to you about strategy to keep you aligned, to keep you focused, to keep you being your true, authentic self. And that's why we're unpacking this, right? So the first thing you got to do is you got to stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. See, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, no matter how you do it, no matter how many times you apologize, there are some people, they're just not going to get it. It doesn't matter to them, right? So you got to stop that. The other thing is, and this is many of you have heard this, you got to move in silence until your work speaks for itself. No competition, no having to put everything, and I've always said, everything does not belong on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, wherever you are. It doesn't. Everything doesn't belong there. And that's why you got to move in silence. I grew up with that old saying, never let your left hand know what your right one's doing. You just be silent. What's for you is for you. And when it's time for it to come out, you will be acknowledged and recognized, right? And then the third thing you got to do in terms of just being in control of how you deal with people who are trying to sabotage you, you got to set boundaries. You got to set boundaries that protect your peace and your purpose, no matter what. Because boundaries aren't there for people to break. They're there because you said, no, I'm not, this is not what I stand for. This is not what I'm dealing with. And be real clear on what those boundaries are, because those boundaries, that's what helps protect your peace. That's what protects your purpose. That protects everything that you're trying to do. Now, you also got to do this. You got to choose rooms where your name is celebrated and not tolerated. I recently had a situation where someone felt that uh, I don't know, maybe they felt I was trying to sabotage someone. And the real deal is, I realized that this particular person, has never celebrated me, you know. Um, Not only that, it's almost like it's a deep rub. It gets in and under their skin. And so I have always been really clear. I have to be in those rooms where my name is uplifted, where my name is positively portrayed, where my name is celebrated, not tolerated. And even for the people who are being celebrated and tolerated, you know what? You clap for them even when you know the behind the scenes stuff for them, right? I'm just basically saying to you, don't spend times with battles you were never meant to be even be in. All right? Then here's the other thing. Don't internalize the sabotage, analyze it. When you just say, she was a hater, he was a hater. That's the real deal. You know that, right? And so those are the things that we have to recognize. It's that simple, you guys. It's that simple. Hey, Miss Carolyn, thank you for being here. And so Don't internalize the sabotage, just analyze it. Because here's the thing, you got to ask yourself, what does it reveal about them? And what does it remind you about you? Okay? That becomes the real deal. That's what you got to do. So you got to stay focused on the assignment. What's the goal here? What are you trying to do? What's important for you? Key, critical. Sabotage, in my opinion, is often confirmation that you're on the right path. That's all you need to know. Stay focused. That's why I said be your true, authentic self. Keep those boundaries tight. You know who you are and whose you are. That's what's really important here. Because when people are doing things to you, all you got to do is say, "Ooh, I thank you." You know what? That's confirmation that I'm doing the right thing. I'm on the right path. Family, listen, family. Sabotage is a sign of significance. If you were irrelevant, you wouldn't even be a target. Hear me when I say that. And that's one of the key things that you got to know. So when you are talking about and dealing with, sabotage and what's happening, I think that it is critical that you recognize what you're dealing with. You know, I see, okay, we have a comment. Your experience was resentment, jealousy, and envy. Look, and you got to ask yourself, thank you for those comments. You got to ask yourself, why? Why? And as I said earlier, you know what? It's really your shine. It irritates them. That's the issue. And that's why you have people who are jealous, who are envious, who are haters. And again, when you think about all the different types of, people that will sabotage or try to sabotage you, just be real clear on where they stand, what they are about. And everybody that smiles in your face, listen, that was probably one of the biggest aha moments for me, is recognizing when people say, "Hey, I'm calling to check in," and there's something in your gut that's knowing, say they weren't really checking in, right? They are, you know, scheming, seeking, trying to find out what you're doing. And again, you know what? What people don't know, they can't hurt you, right? And so these are some of the things that I want you to think about. I want you to hold your peace, right? I want you to hold on to your boundaries. I want you to be confident in who you are. That's important. And remember, you have a seat at your table. And if you're at someone else's table, and and guess what? You're dealing with all of these kinds of things. Sometimes you got to get up from the table, and you even got to take your seat with you. That's the thing. For me, I just find that it is really, really important, and it's critical that we start to unpack all of these things, some of the narratives that you have been raised with, that you believe. And by the way, let me just say this, it don't matter whether you, it's whether you're in a women's group, a men's group, a church group, or whatever it is. Because of who you are, you're going to always have someone that's intimidated by your shine. You're going to always have someone who's going to be that, what I say, that covert, insecure person. That's right. You're going to have those people. You're going to have people who are going to undermine you. So this is why we do unpack this, because we want to talk about the things that we need to unpack, but no one's ever really willing to attack it head on. No one wants to deal with it, right? Listen, if I had $1 for every time someone would say, why do you want to do this show? Why do you want to do this? Because you know what? For everyone that asks why, there's also one who says, I appreciate it. I'm glad you're back on the airways. I think what you bring to the table, it is informative. It helps them. So I'm not doing it for those people who want to undermine uh, and keep me with their thumbs down. That's not why you do it. You do it because there's one person, and if that message could resonate with, there's so many people. It's I liken it to people who say, I want to do this, but I don't know what people are going to say. Well, that's the issue, first of all, right there. You're worrying about what people are going to say. Were you led to do it? Do you believe you're capable of doing it? And if so, then you should do it. Not worry about what people, because what I have come to learn is a lot of people, even in your own family, in your own close circle, there are people who will not spend $1 to support you because they are afraid that, guess what, you're going to one up them or two up them. And then the other thing is just that they don't believe in what you're doing. And so real supporters believe in what you're doing. They believe in the truth. They believe in the authenticity and the honesty that comes with who you are. And so the people who are doing all these other things, they not your people. They not your folks. That's why it's important to be really clear on whose table you're sitting at or who's sitting at your table. A lot of times we don't want to evaluate that, and you must. It is so vitally important. Even if you've been with people and known them for years, just because they've been with you doesn't mean they're supposed to stay with you, right? That's one thing. The other thing is to get you to stop and to think, why am I seeking their validation? You don't need to. And I've said this before. You don't seek validation from, people who are not or who don't. If someone isn't talking positive about you, then why are you seeking validation from them? I love this. Thank you, Miss Carolyn. I got to show this. When your insight has landed, your clarity belongs to your choices, not other people's thoughts, opinions, or ego. And that is so true. And thank you for sharing that, because so many times we get caught up in what somebody else thinks, and what they think doesn't amount to a hill of beans, right? So, you know, I just want you, as you go forward today, and as we close out today's unpack this session, I want you again. I'm going to repeat this. I want you to sit with this truth. First of all, your name has value. Your presence has impact. Your purpose has power. Here's what I've come to learn. People don't sabotage what they don't find threatening. They just don't. They sabotage what they secretly admire or envy or fear. All right? So the next time someone tries to sabotage you, you need to remind yourself, first of all, that, you know what? They don't deserve a seat at your table, right? That's what's important. And here's the thing, the seat that you earned it. That's why you need to be real clear on this. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Join me every Thursday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 1 p.m. Central Time, around lunchtime for some of you folks. And on the East Coast, it should be break time for you. And just, log in. I love it. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. All right. I love the comments. Thank you so much. You're absolutely 150% correct. And this is the thing that we all need to know. So until this time next week, you guys, I want you to be well, to go forward. And yes, I will be streaming live on Christmas Day, same time, same station. And I just look forward to continue to have this dialogue. So tell someone, grab a friend, be there. But again, and also don't forget to like, share, and follow me. I'm your host, the Authentic Coach, Gloria Bailey Ray. Be well. God bless. Peace, y'all.